Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome back to the AI Lean Edge. I'm Brian Bricker, broadcasting from my office here at AI Lean Solutions, and today we're going to talk about something that affects every small business owner, every manager, and honestly, every human being with a calendar. We're going to talk about time, and more specifically, how AI is finally starting to help us to manage it instead of just tracking how we lose it. You'll also want to stick around to the end because you need to hear what's coming in this brave new world of abundance that's being driven faster and faster by exponential advancements in AI and robotics. I guarantee you're not prepared for the next 12 months, let alone the next 5 years. You owe it to yourself to listen to today's podcast all the way to the end. With that, sit back, grab a drink, and let's start talking about time and the future.
Chaos out, clarity in. Cut the noise and dial in the win. AI lean edge. Stream it, dream it, lean it tight. AI lean edge. Everything just works right. AI lean edge. Say goodbye to the sludge. Run it clean, run it mean. AI lean edge.
Welcome back. I'll start with a true story today. So one Monday morning a few years ago, I sat down on my desk with a fresh cup of coffee and opened my calendar, and it looked like a battlefield. Every square inch was filled. Calls, meetings, reminders, back-to-back Zooms, a client lunch squeezed between two urgent blocks, and even a couple of old recurring events from 6 months earlier that I'd forgotten to delete. And here's the worst part. I had created that chaos myself. I was the one who said yes to all of it. But staring at that screen, I realized something very simple and a little humbling. I wasn't managing my time, I was just reacting to it. It hit me that my calendar wasn't a plan, it was just a record of decisions made under pressure. So that morning was the beginning of a shift in how I thought about time management. I stopped asking, how can I get more done? And started asking, how can I make the time I already have actually work for me? That's what this episode is about. Reclaiming your time using the newest, smartest, most practical AI calendar tools available today. If you're a small business owner, time isn't just money, it's oxygen. Every wasted hour is oxygen that your business needed to grow, or your family needed to rest with you, or your creativity needed to breathe. Most of us aren't running out of opportunities, we're running out of minutes. That's why AI-powered calendar tools have become more than just digital planners. They're becoming personal productivity partners. Invisible assistants that quietly coordinate your day, protect your focus, and learn your habits. For years, we were told to work smarter, not harder. Now, for the first time, the technology to make that real actually exists. Let's be honest, most calendars are dumb. They're static, they do exactly what you tell them to do, even if what you tell them to do makes no sense. They don't know that you just finished a stressful client call and might need 10 minutes to decompress before jumping into deep work. They don't understand that you tend to do your best creative thinking around 9:30 in the morning, or that perhaps you always start fading around 3 p.m. So we end up working against our calendars instead of with them. Here's a small test. If your calendar ever tells you to be in two places at once, or if you've ever clicked accept on a meeting invite just because you couldn't find a polite reason to decline, your calendar is running you. AI is changing that. AI-driven calendars analyze your actual work patterns, not your ideal self, not your wish list, but the way you really actually behave. They start to see the rhythms that you might not notice, and then they start protecting those rhythms for you. Think about this. In manufacturing, lean thinking transformed entire industries by eliminating waste. In time management, the same principle applies. The waste isn't broken machinery, it's fractured attention. Every time we jump between emails and meetings, or push back focus work because of an urgent request, we create micro waste, little pockets of time that evaporate without purpose. AI can now see those patterns, predict them, and correct them automatically. It can tell you, hey, you usually hit a wall around 2:30, so let's schedule admin work there and keep creative work in the morning. It can notice that your team meetings often run 15 minutes over and adjust the next one accordingly. This is what lean time management looks like, removing waste not from a production line, but from the rhythm of your day. Let's get practical. There are four tools I believe are worth your attention, not just because they're smart, but because they're genuinely useful in the real world. Okay, the first is Reclaim.ai. It's a defender of your focus. Reclaim is like a personal bodyguard for your time. You tell it what matters, focus work, lunch, family, workouts, and it automatically blocks time for those things, rearranging as needed. If a meeting gets dropped into your day, Reclaim will quietly shift your focus block to another open slot. It protects what you say is important. And the best part, it integrates seamlessly with Google Calendar, Slack, and Asana, so instead of just juggling multiple tools, everything syncs into one reality. So imagine this scenario. You've got a proposal due Friday. Normally you'd think, well, I'll get to it when I can. But Reclaim sees that you've got two short windows Wednesday morning and a larger block Thursday afternoon, and it automatically holds those for you. No more scrambling, no more guilt, just a system that works with your priorities instead of against them. Okay, next we have Motion. It's the master scheduler. Motion is a different kind of AI. It doesn't just block time, it builds your week for you. You load in your tasks, your meetings, your deadlines, and Motion creates a dynamic schedule optimized for efficiency. And here's the magic. When things change, which they always do, Motion recalculates everything in seconds. Say a client pushes back a meeting. Motion instantly reshuffles your day to fill that gap with something productive, like finishing a draft or catching up on admin work. I use Motion when my week starts feeling like a jigsaw puzzle because it thinks like an operations manager. It sees the big picture, understands dependencies, and helps you make sure nothing falls through the cracks. Okay, number three is Clockwise. It's the team harmonizer. Clockwise is built for people who don't work alone, which, let's face it, is most of us. If you manage a small team, contractors, or collaborators, you've probably wasted hours trying to schedule meetings that fit everyone's availability. Clockwise uses AI to find the best meeting times for the whole group, minimizing calendar conflicts, maximizing focus blocks, and even suggesting when to shift standing meetings to reduce burnout. The first time you see it rearrange everyone's week so your team gets longer stretches of uninterrupted work time, it feels almost magical. And then there's a bigger benefit, morale. When your calendar finally gives your team breathing room, productivity goes way up, and so does satisfaction. Next, Google Duet AI, your invisible assistant. If you're already living inside Google Workspace, Duet AI might soon become your favorite coworker. It's like having a quiet, invisible assistant living inside your Gmail and calendar. It can summarize long email threads, automatically generate meeting notes, and even draft follow-up messages for you. It's not perfect yet, but it's learning fast. And for small business owners who are already managing too much communication, Duet can cut through the noise. You spend less time catching up, more time moving forward. Now let's pause for a moment, because here's where people often go wrong. You don't want to add more complexity to your life. You want less. The goal is not to collect apps or use all of these tools all at one time. Your goal is to design a system. So start simple, pick one tool, spend 1 week letting it observe how you actually work, then start fine-tuning. If you're using Reclaim, tell it which habits to protect. Not all of them, just the ones that truly matter to you. If you're using Motion, load in your biggest priorities and let it rebuild your schedule around them. If you're managing a team, give Clockwise a chance to reduce the friction that meetings create. Don't worry about doing it perfectly. The beauty of AI is that it learns with you. So when I work with small business owners, this is often one of the first automations we build. We'll sit down, map their reoccurring commitments, identify their deep work periods, and choose an AI assistant that fits their lifestyle. Within 2 weeks, the transformation is visible. They stop feeling like their day is constantly slipping away from them. They start noticing gaps, open time blocks that used to disappear into busy work, and something remarkable happens. they become more relaxed, not just more productive. That's the magic of lean time management. When you remove waste from your day, you remove stress from your life. So let's talk lean for a second, the principle behind all of this. In manufacturing, lean focuses on identifying and eliminating non value added activity. It's about doing more with less by focusing on what truly creates value. In your calendar, that waste takes different forms. Overscheduling, which is trying to fill every minute. Context switching, which is jumping between unrelated tasks. Decision fatigue, wasting time choosing what to do next. And unnecessary meetings. I don't really need to say anything about those. AI tools help remove those automatically, but you have to decide what value looks like for your time. For me, value means deep work, strategy, creativity, and client time. For you, it might mean family, learning, and operations. Once you define it, AI can optimize it. When I first started using AI scheduling, I thought I was being efficient. But what I discovered was something deeper. I started seeing patterns in how I burned out. I noticed that my energy peaked mid morning and dropped after lunch. I realized that when I tried to push through, I didn't produce better work. I produced worse work that took longer to fix later. The AI showed me with data what my body already knew, but I'd been ignoring. That's the real benefit of these tools. They don't just save time, they teach you how to use your time better. Now, I know some people hear AI scheduling and imagine a future where robots tell them what to do all day. But that's not the point. The point is to free you from the little decisions that drain energy so you can focus on the ones that matter. When a system takes care of logistics, your mind becomes available again for creativity, relationships, and leadership. That's not replacing humanity, that's restoring it. So here's an important mindset shift. You're not handing over control to AI, you're delegating the busy work so you can stay in control of direction. Think of it like a pilot with autopilot. The plane still flies under human command, the systems just manage stability. If something changes, a storm ahead, a new client emergency, you can override the automation anytime. So the goal is partnership, not dependence. So let's go over the most common mistakes I see people making when they start. Mistake 1, jumping in too fast. You integrate 3 apps, import your whole task list, and end up overwhelmed. Start slow, let one system prove itself first. Mistake 2, ignoring customization. AI tools are only as good as the instructions you give them. Take time to train them. Label your focus blocks, define work hours, set your priorities. Mistake 3, treating it like magic. AI can predict and organize, but it can't set boundaries for you. You still need to say no to meetings that don't matter. And mistake 4, never reviewing. Lean is about continuous improvement. Schedule a 10-minute weekly review to adjust what worked and what didn't. That's how your system gets smarter, and so do you. So let's zoom out. Time management isn't about fitting more in, it's about designing a life that feels sustainable. We talk so much about productivity that we forget the goal isn't to maximize output, it's to maximize meaning. When you start using AI tools to reduce wasted time, what you're really doing is creating space. Space for creativity, space for rest, space to think deeply and lead intentionally. That's where innovation comes from, not from cramming every minute, but from the white space between. We're only scratching the surface of what AI calendars will do. Imagine this. You finish a client meeting and your AI system automatically sends a summary, updates your task list, schedules your next follow-up, and blocks recovery time afterward. Imagine your calendar understanding not just your schedule, but your mood, adjusting based on energy or focus data from your wearable device. That's not science fiction anymore. Early prototypes already exist. The future of time management is adaptive, personalized, and almost invisible. You'll look back and wonder how you ever managed manually. If you're listening to this and thinking, I'm too busy to try this stuff, that's exactly why you need it. The people who benefit most from AI time management are the ones who already feel underwater. Because AI won't just help you organize what's on your plate, it'll help you question whether everything on your plate should be there at all. So start this week. Try one assistant, notice what changes. You might discover that productivity doesn't feel like a hustle anymore. It feels like calm. Here's something to think about tonight before you shut down for the day. If your calendar is a mirror of your life, what does yours say about your priorities? Are the things that matter most to you actually visible there? Or have they been pushed into the margins by everything else? AI can't answer that question for you, but it can make it easier to act on your answer once you know it. That's the beauty of this new era of work. We're not just automating tasks, we're rediscovering choice. Now, before we wrap up, I want to take a few minutes to tell you about my book, Smarter, Leaner, Faster: How AI and Lean Thinking Can Transform Your Small Business. If you've been listening to this show for a while, you already know that my mission is simple: to help small business owners use AI and lean principles to make their companies stronger and their lives easier. Smarter, Leaner, Faster dives deep into exactly how to do that. It's filled with real-world examples, simple frameworks, and step-by-step guidance to help you identify the biggest sources of waste in your business, use AI tools to eliminate repetitive work, and create systems that scale without burning out your team. But more than that, it's about a philosophy that technology should serve humanity, not the other way around. If you've ever felt that you're stuck working in your business instead of on your business, this book will give you the roadmap to break free. You can find Smarter, Leaner, Faster on Amazon, at major booksellers, or directly at aileansolutions.com. And if today's episode resonated with you, please like it, share it, and leave a comment. Tell a friend. To summarize our topic today, time is the one resource we can't manufacture, but we can manage it better, protect it smarter, and fill it with things that actually matter. That's what lean time management and AI calendar assistants are really about. Not doing more, but living better. Now let's talk seriously about our immediate future, because I truly believe that you and most of the other people on the planet are just not prepared for what's happening and what's coming. Now, the potential is very, very good, and you'll ultimately benefit, but change, even a positive one, can be challenging, and right now is the best time for you to start anticipating it. Picture a shoreline just before sunrise. The water is calm, but you can feel a swell gathering far out to sea. That swell is artificial intelligence paired with robotics. It carries the potential for more abundance, broader opportunity, and yes, more free time than most people can imagine. It is moving faster than our instincts believe, and many of you are just not prepared for it. Let's get specific. The last decade has brought a new class of intelligent software that does something different from past tools. It learns patterns, reasons across them, and then acts. When these systems pair with robots, we stop talking about apps and start talking about new capabilities in the physical world. That's where abundance comes from: software that thinks and machines that do. Economists call technologies like this general-purpose technologies because they touch almost every sector. They explain why the full payoff often lags, because you need new processes, skills, and ways of working. But when the complements arrive, productivity can surge. Think of it as a J-curve, a dip during adjustment and then a sharp rise. That's exactly the curve we're beginning to climb right now. So what could that surge look like in practical terms? Well, McKinsey's latest work estimates that generative AI alone could add trillions of dollars in annual value by amplifying knowledge work, speeding software, and automating routine tasks. This is not wish casting. It's based on thousands of real use cases already underway. And Goldman Sachs puts a number on the macro upside. If diffusion is broad, global GDP could be meaningfully higher as task automation scales. The point is not the exact figure. The point is direction and magnitude. Meanwhile, the robots are not theoretical. On factory floors worldwide, there are a record 4.3 million robots in operation right now, with annual installations topping 500,000 for several consecutive years. Robot density in factories has doubled in 7 years. That's the physical footprint of capability compounding. So, what does abundance feel like to regular people, not just to economists and engineers? First, it feels like time returning to your day. Software agents schedule, summarize, draft, reconcile, and monitor while you sleep. In services and small business, that means fewer evenings sacrificed to back office chores. In care settings, it can mean more minutes with a patient or a student because documentation, routing, and prep are handled by machines. And this is productivity as reclaimed attention. Second, abundance feels like lower friction to build. A single person can now ship what once required a team. Design, code, marketing copy, demo videos, customer service flows, and basic legal drafts can be accelerated by assistants that have read more than any of us ever will. When the cost to explore ideas falls, exploration increases. When exploration increases, new businesses appear. Third, in the physical world, abundance shows up as safer, more consistent production. Robots do the dull, dirty, and dangerous work. People move up the value chain to supervision, exception handling, and human connection. As adoption spreads beyond auto plants into logistics, food, construction, and elder care, we'll see prices ease in categories where labor bottlenecks kept costs high. That mix is already changing in Asia, Europe, and the Americas. If you want a North Star for this optimism, look to two different visions that converge. Peter Diamandis popularized the idea that exponential technologies, when democratized, can turn scarcity into abundance. Andrew McAfee documented a related fact on the environmental side. Advanced economies have started to get more from less, delivering growth with less resources, through efficiency and smarter technology. Together, these theses brand a path to more prosperity with less burn. Now, it's not guaranteed, but the data trend is real. Now, the drama. This wave is not gentle. The same analysis that highlight opportunities also warn of turbulence. The IMF estimates that around 40 to 60%, now listen to this, 40 to 60% of jobs in advanced economies will be affected by AI. Now, some roles will become far more productive, others will shrink or disappear completely. So timing matters. Policy matters. Without smart transition plans, the gains can concentrate and the pain can concentrate too. So here's a caution. Big macro gains do not arrive automatically from hype. They depend on where the technology is aimed and how widely the task level savings diffuse. If firms pursue narrow cost cutting that replaces workers without creating new tasks and new demand, aggregate growth can underwhelm and inequality will get worse. So the translation there is use AI to augment people and invent new services, not only to squeeze headcount. So here's the charge to everyone listening. First, pay attention now, not later. And I can't say that strongly enough. Pay attention now, because later it'll be too late. This is not a future problem. It's a present advantage for anyone who learns to pilot AI tools and collaborates with robots as they arrive on job sites. Second, reskill continuously. The durable skills will be judgment, communication, and systems thinking, paired with basic AI literacy. If you can frame problems, validate outputs, and design workflows, you will ride the swell, not get tumbled by it. Third, insist on human-centered deployment. Aim these systems at removing friction and danger, not dignity. Push vendors and leaders to measure time return to people, not just cost removed from budgets. That's how you get the abundance most of us actually want. If we do this well, here's the picture I want in your mind. A contractor on a job site where small mobile robots prep surfaces and deliver materials, while the human crew handles the finishing details customers really care about. A clinic where software agents tee up histories and write clean visit notes so nurses and doctors can look patients in the eye again. A classroom where AI tutors handle practice and pacing while teachers spend their time on motivation and mentorship. A Main Street where one founder, three part-timers, and a fleet of agents run a business that looks like a company of 20. That's not science fiction. The ingredients already exist. The curve we are on suggests speed. The choice in front of us is whether we shape that speed with intention or not. Abundance is not just more stuff. It's more margin in a human life, more hours for creativity, more hours for family, for learning, and for rest. The swell is almost here. Get your footing now. Learn the AI tools, ask better questions, and help steer this wave toward a society that is not only richer, but fairer and more humane. Because the most exciting outcome of AI and robotics is not that machines become more like us, it's that we finally get to be more like ourselves. And with that, thank you for listening to the AI Lean Edge. I'm Brian Bricker, reminding you that smarter systems lead to calmer lives, and lean in AI isn't about less humanity, it's about freeing up more of it. If today's episode resonated with you, please like it, share it, and leave a comment. Tell a friend. Post a link on LinkedIn or Facebook. Every share helps another small business owner find the tools to reclaim their time and maybe their sanity. Keep tuning in every week, where it's my goal to help your business get smarter, leaner, and faster. And as always, just keep leaning into AI.
AI Lean Edge. Stream it, lean it tight. AI Lean Edge. Everything just works right. AI Lean Edge. Say goodbye to the sludge. Run it clean, run it mean. AI Lean Edge. AI Lean Edge. We live, we pivot, we pledge.